Okay, guys. I just sat down. I am here after the Rogue dropped, the Rogue trailer, and everything that. I'm here after all that dropped. And one, I just have two things to say about it. Not even a rant, just like, wow. First off, I have not seen any ability breakdowns, so I only have an idea of what Rogue does. One, looks super fucking cool. Two, might be busted, but it's gonna be the season. It's gonna be a season of launch, so I hope they're kind of busted, because otherwise the season will be unfun. It'll be the same meta we played in last season. I am going to. Now, if you give me a second to let my Discord load, I'm going to pull up the patch notes, because I don't really have much to say about Rogue, because, like I said, I don't know other than I think she's really cool and really cool looking. But what I can talk about is the patch notes. I can talk about the patch notes. When I find the patch notes, here we are. Because I've already read all of these. Penny losing 50 health, I don't think that's going to affect Penny too much. Definitely kills the survivability. Well, not killing it. Makes it harder for Penny to solo tank, but it wasn't where Penny thrived anyways, so I think that's a fine buff, but not the end of the world for Penny. Emma Frost getting a increase to base health and then remove the team up bonus anchor, so it's actually a loss of 50 health. I think that might balance Emma, but I mentioned it briefly in another video. I don't think there's any real way you can, let's look at Emma's abilities on paper, and there's no real way you can balance that without making her really suck in her normal form, or making her diamond form really suck, or making everything suck. I think that's going to be, it's just not something you can do. Emma's always going to be really strong, or just really bad. Thor's buff, he can freely move while he's dashing. That's really cool. It's from the zombies mode, and they took it, they mentioned that in here, that it was from the zombies mode. That's really cool. It's really cool that they're adding buffs from that, because people liked it and it was really good. I think that's going to boost his mobility a lot, but I don't think that's going to change Thor's gameplay too much, right? I don't think it's going to make him super, super good or super, super bad. We'll see. I think the Thing has some really good buffs, because what I was saying is you have to slam the ground before as a Thing, and then it goes away super fast, so they just wait it out. And if you do hit them with it, you knock them up, so they can just dash away using any of their dashes. Well, now the Thing's ground thing lasts for 5 seconds, which means it lasts long enough that you could use that offensively. The Thing could dash into the back and slam it down, so no one in the back can use their movement abilities, and then someone hits them with an ult and you can't get out of it. That could work. I think it opens up the ability of things like that to work really well, and just in general it makes it harder for them to wait it out. If they're playing dive and you're trying to play Thing against it, it makes it really hard for them to wait it out. And then the other buff was it increases the percent damage from 8% to 10%. So characters like Strange was around 600 health. Why can't I remember? We're just going to assume that's correct, because I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh god, I'm losing my touch. But it'll make it 110 damage per punch, because it's 50 base plus the 10%, so really good on tanks. And the bonus health up to 100, I think Thing might work now. He might have a niche where he's just a frontline puncher, but at the same time, it only works when you can get up there. So I think it depends on how good Rogue is. Because if Rogue's super good, then you can brawl with Rogue. If Rogue's not, you're just going to get farmed by the same things you got farmed by before. But I'm here for it, because I think the Thing is really fun to play when you're not getting constantly just farmed by Emma, Punisher, half the DPS roster, and pretty much every character in the game. So I hope he's good. I hope that kind of makes him a little better. I don't think that fixes a lot of his problems. I think that just puts him more securely in this tank buster, frontline puncher niche. The blade buff, where he sharpens his edge, he does more ancestral. He does more damage with the sword, which is good. And the slash does more damage. And when you're in your E form, you get less reduced healing. That's good because, dude, there was almost no point. I would see people playing Blade at higher ranks or in my rank on my team, and they just never used their sword. I think Boga would call him gun because you just shoot with the gun. It does way more damage. It's way more consistent. You apply the anti-heal with it, but I think upping the damage per slice and then on the slash, that would be pretty cool. I hope that's good. I hope it makes the sword useful. Buffing the Phoenix health of the ultimate, that's fine. That probably really helps at higher ranks. I don't know how that will affect my ranks. It either never got broken because nobody wanted to look at it with me, or hell, I didn't even look at it. Sometimes, if we were super coordinated and everyone was on it, we would break it, but that's not something that's going to affect me too much because people don't really look at that. Punisher does more damage. It's one damage more per bullet. I don't think that is a huge buff. I may be sipping crazy pills right now, but I think that's kind of... I assumed it was 20 already. I was confused when I read that. The Human Torches one is a little weird, because it's less spread, so it's more of a focused in shotgun, but they also move slower. So I read the same sentence twice and in different ways, like an idiot. The spread is tighter, right? The spread is tighter, and it does more damage, which means it will do even more damage, and it has more fall off. So it used to hit max fall off of 60% damage at 30 meters, and now its max fall off is at 20 meters. So it does more damage. It's an even better shotgun, but you got to be closer to them for it to work like that, and I think that's good. I think make him a pseudo diver like he's supposed to be with the shotgun blast that he has. Reducing the single charge hit from 3. Reduce single charge speed from 3 to 2.5. Oh, yes. For a second I didn't know what ability that was. This is his right click. So he farms his right clicks faster by half a second, because I think it was around like 2 or 2.5 before, and then they made it longer, and now it's kind of in the middle area, I assume. But it does less damage on a direct hit, so it's more useful for util and zoning people out, saying, hey, don't step there, or setting up for you dive, because they explode when you dive. Okay. Yeah, no. I hope this makes him good, but not meta. Because so far he's either been really good or really bad. And I think he's going to be like Emma, where he's just either super good or super bad, and there's no real way to get a balance just because of the nature of his kit. That's my impression of it so far, but I would love for this buff to prove him wrong. To prove me wrong, not prove him wrong. Psylocke. Thank God we got an ultimate. The ultimate charge increase, dude. That ultimate was terrorism. Even in my lobbies, like, where you're like, oh, they must not be the most mechanically skilled, they didn't even have to be. You would just shoot past your tanks at their tanks. If you're not hitting their tanks, you're hitting their DPS or support, which are... You're hitting... Not their DPS, because the DPS are typically on an off angle. But you're hitting supports, which are just back there. Oh my god, dude. And you farmed ult so fast. And then you just unleashed it every time you got it. Killed the backline. I talked about this in one of my other videos that hasn't come out yet. It's scheduled because I have exams and everything coming up, so expect those. I just wanted to get this done the day of, so that way I wasn't late to the party. But yeah, it's just a terrorist in that way. Wolverine, I don't know how much better this will make him. It's because what the buff is he can now target walls for his landing point during his ultimate. You know how he hits you up and then you have to choose a spot to land on? You can choose walls. But I don't know how much better this is, because I'm 100% certain it has a range, so you can't just kidnap them all the way to a corner. But at the same time, you could probably take them in really creative places, and then they just die. I would love to see it. It'll probably be super cool once people master it. I don't know how much of a buff it will be, because a lot of times, especially if you're a tank and you get caught in Wolverine's ultimate, you're kind of just dead, because it does damage on the way up, it's damage on the way to your landing point, it's damage on the landing point, then you have to stand up while he's clawing at you, and then you can react. Like, even if I'm playing Emma, if I don't diamond form before he starts the ultimate, I can't diamond form until I've at least lost like half my health. So I don't know if that will be the biggest buff, but it's gonna be really cool, I'm pretty sure. Daredevil just loses 25 bonus health, which I don't know what that means. Let me look at the Emma one. Did they phrase it in the same way? Yeah. So he just lost 25 health because he's no longer the anchor. Okay. He's still going to be super strong, generate tons and tons of health. I don't think 25 health is going to balance him, but get ready for Daredevil to be S tier for the 3rd season in a row. Wanda, I might be on some crazy juice, but I think this is really, really good buffs for Wanda. I think Wanda might be goated right now. At least up until a certain rank when you just can't get the same value off of her. Because what I'm pretty sure is her right click charges faster. Her E, which is her stun, it goes faster and it doesn't have a delay, so you can stun instantly. And it pulls enemies 3 meters per second, pulls them in harder. Now the ultimate, you're still gonna have to like use everything in your kit to keep her alive for it. But still kinda goated. I still think those are really good buffs. I think she became really so much better at stomping low ranks thanks to those. Gambit, I did not get this far, so these are my raw reactions. Gambit only nerf 200 more to his ultimate ability. That's fine. It's still season 5. I'll still say it's Gambit's season, so yeah, I think that's fine. And then same thing for Invis. They didn't nerf anything else about Invis or Gambit. So our 2 best strategists just got more things. But let's see. They got nerfed just by ult charge. And then it looks like Rocket did too. Just increases the cost of it. Which all 3 of them still got their ults super fast. So it's 300 extra for Rocket and then 200 extra for both Invis and Gambit. I don't know how much that... I genuinely don't know how much of a nerf that will be, but I'm holding out hope that it is enough to make it so that way, you know, it does something. Increased damage and healing ratio of Loki's doppelgangers from 80% to 90%. Okay. So he just does more healing and damage. Okay. But it's not prime Loki because it's still 10% less from what his normal ones. Okay, Luna Snow. It's a big one. Luna cools down her foes even faster and gets a brand new ability. She's never beating the allegations, is she? That's really funny. Thank you, Marvel Rivals. That's actually pretty good. Luna can apply Idle Aura to herself, separate from Share the Stage. When Idle Aura is active, 10% of healing to allies is converted into healing for Luna herself, and she gains 10% healing boost and 10% damage boost. It says separate from Share the Stage, so does that mean you put the snowflake on yourself for that? Or does that mean... Tell me what you think that means, because this means either one of 2 things to me. Instead of putting the snowflake on a teammate, you put it on yourself and it gives you these abilities. Or it's like a team up where you press C and for this amount of time you get these buffs. Which I hope it's the first one, because then there's trade-off. You don't get to heal 2 people at once. But I don't know. and then what people were saying was shown in the skin trailer. The icicle, the ice ball, the snowball, goes faster and has less startup time. Ultron gets buffed. One of my favorite characters on release gets buffed. Hold up. Firewall now requires a target with Imperative Patch to use. Imperative Firewall. Okay, so you can only use your right-click shields when you are targeted, when the drone is on somebody. Okay, I don't know why you would have used it otherwise, unless you were trying to survive yourself. But so I guess that kind of lowers his survivability, because if he's not targeting anybody, because let's say they died, then he can't even shield himself, I guess. After use, Ultron gains 65 bonus health. The target and nearby allies get 50 bonus health, plus the selected ally gets a 20% movement speed and 10% damage boost. That's what I was saying. I never said it in a video because I had this opinion so long ago. But make the right click even better, because I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, that right click seems pretty shit. Like, especially if it's on a front line, a tank or something. It's pretty much only helpful in like a pinch, because it's never enough bonus health to actually allow you to heal, and that's crazy. Imperative Patch can now... Ooh. Oh, you can have 2 drones. But they increased his ult charge. Okay. We might have an Ultron season. I'm not gonna lie. And that's gonna be really, really cool. It's either gonna be really cool or really bad. Because Hela didn't get any nerfs or anything. None of the hit scan characters did. So yeah. No, that's gonna be cool because there's gonna be a lot of cool counterplay with him. Punisher actually got more damage. Psylocke's damage and Phoenix's damage didn't change, just ultimate stuff. So yeah. Ultron, what's not going to be super cool is those 2 drones. So, do they stack? Yeah, like, by that, I know you can't put 2 drones on the same person, or at least I assume. Ultron, the target and nearby allies get 50 bonus health. So let's say you're within both ranges. Do you get 100 bonus health? I wonder. But 20% movement speed and 10% damage boost. Depending on how long that lasts, you can put like 1 on a DPS, 1 on a tank. You're playing with Emma Frost. Emma Frost didn't really get nerfed this season. Emma Frost is still really good. Actually, put that on Rogue, because Rogue looks fucking awesome. You hit your right click, Rogue gets bonus health, increased damage, and movement speed, and your DPS gets it as well. That's crazy. I think I'm gonna play so much Ultron. I play Ultron a lot on my alt account with my girlfriend, but now I won't get flamed for doing it. Holy crap. Guys, next season is either going to be crazy, crazy fun, or crazy, crazy bad, or both. And honestly, I think the patch notes and how Rogue looks leans towards being really, really fun. Let me know what you guys think about the dev vision and everything that comes out, because I didn't even talk about the team ups. Yeah. Wet Willy!